शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वञ्चनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम्। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Namaskaram. Welcome to the 46th session of Narayaneeyam. We saw in session 45 how Bhagavan, who came as Vāmana, asked for just 3 strides of land measured by his small feet, and how the Asura Guru Sukracharya attempted unsuccessfully to prevent Mahabali from completing his offer of gifting everything to Vāmana. When Mahabali failed to convince his Acharya and said that he will go ahead with the fulfillment of his commitment, Sukracharya cursed him for disobedience. Nevertheless, Mahabali offered the Argyam, Padyam, Achamaniyam, knowing that Sakshat Bhagavan is the one seeking the Yachakam. We stopped the last session with Slokam 5 of Dasakam 31 of Narayaneeyam, at the point where and when the diminutive Vāmana was about to decide his cosmic enhancement to Trivikrama Swarupam. Let us see now how Shuka preambles the cosmic expansion to Trivikrama Swarupam from the diminutive Vāmana-avatārā. Tadvamanam rūpam avartada adbhutam harehe. Tadvamanam rūpam avartada adbhutam harehe. Anantasya gunatrayatmakam tam dishotyauhu vivaraga payodayaha tiryam nrideva rishayo yadasata bhukam dishotyauhu vivaraga payodayaha tiryam nrideva rishayo yadasata. Vamanam rūpam avardata adbhutam harehi anantasya gunatrayatmakam bhuhu kam disho dyauhu vivaraha payodayaha tiryan nrudeva rishayo yadasata. The unlimited Supreme Brahman, who came as Vāmana, then began increasing in size, acting in terms of the material energy, until everything in the universe was within his body, including the earth, the planetary systems, the sky, the directions, the various holes in the universe, the seas, the oceans, the birds, bees, human beings, the demigods, of course, the great saintly persons. Kaye balistasya mahavibhutehe. Kaye balistasya mahavibhutehe. Sahadvik acharya sadasya yetad dadarsha vishvam trigunam gunatmake bhutendriyatashaya jivayuktam dadarsha vishvam trigunam gunatmake bhutendriyatashaya bhutendriyatashaya jivayuktam. काये बलिस्तस्य महाविभूतेः सगत्विगाचार्य सदस्य एतत् ददस्य विश्वं त्रिगुणं गुणात्मके भूतेन्द्रियार्थाशय जीवयुक्तम्. Bali Maharaja, along with all the priests, acharyas and members of the assembly, observed the supreme Brahman's universal body, which was full of 6 opulences. That body contained everything within the universe, including all the gross material elements, the senses, the sense objects, the mind, intelligence, and false ego, the various kinds of living entities, and the actions and reactions of the 3 modes of material nature. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanditaha bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha maya tatamidam sarvam जगदव्यक्तमूर्तिना मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं तेष्वस्थितः न चाहं तेषु अवस्थितः. In Bhagavad Gita, Purna Brahman Krishna says, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my Shuddha Bhakti or devotional service, completely pure, and worship me with all their hearts. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevaha sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. After very many births and deaths, he who is actually in total knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is there to know. Such a great soul is exceedingly rare. Maya tadamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani na chaham teshu avastitaha. This entire cosmic manifestation is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. All living beings dwell in me, but I do not dwell in them. Advaitins are philosophers who think that since Brahman, the absolute truth, has become everything, Bhagavan has no separate existence. Their philosophy is somewhat flawed. Actually, here, Bali Maharaja was the seer of Bhagavan's universal body, and that body was that which was seen. Thus, there is Dvaitavada. There are always 2 entities, the seer and the seen. The seer is part of the whole, but he is not equal to the whole. The part of the whole, the seer, is also one with the whole, but since he is but a part, he cannot be the complete whole at any time. This may be very complex to know, but I can repeat the observation. The seer is part of the whole, but he is not equal to the whole. The part of the whole, namely the seer, is also one with the whole, since he is but a part. He cannot be complete whole at any time because of the very same phenomenon. This Achintya Veda Veda, simultaneous oneness and simultaneous difference, is the philosophy propounded by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Vasudeva Sarvamiti, which we have seen so many times in the past. Rasamajatangritale agavadayogo mahimahidran purushasya jangayogo rasam ajatangritale agavadayogo mahimahidran purushasya jangayogo patatrino januni vishwamurtege Urboganam Marutam Indrasena Urboganam Marutam Indrasena. Thereafter, Bali Maharaja, who was occupying the seat of King Indra, could see the lower planetary systems, such as Rasatala, on the soles of the feet of Supreme Brahman's universal form. He saw on the Lord's feet the surface of the globe, on the surface of his calves all the mountains, and Bhagavan's knees the various birds, and on his thighs the varieties of air. You may all remember, we have already talked about Shukta 90 of Mandala 10 of Rigveda. Om Sagasra Sirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Tyattadishtattashangulam. The Purusha, the universal being, has 1,000 heads, 1,000 eyes and 1,000 feet. 1,000 signifies innumerable number, which points to the omnipresence of the universal being. The Purusha envelops the world from all sides, namely, he pervades each part of the creation and extends beyond in the 10 directions represented by 10 fingers. Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Tyastadishtat Dashangulam. Purusha Yevedakum Sarvam Yat Bhutam Yachabhavyam Udamrtatvashishanaha Yadannena Tiruhati. The Purusha is indeed all this creation in essence. That which existed in the past and that which will exist in the future, everything. That means the whole creation is woven by the immortal essence of the great Lord Purusha. By becoming food of which, that is, by getting consumed in whole immortal essence through surrender, one transcends the gross world and becomes immortal. Yetavanasya mehima atojjayagum sapurushaha padosya vishwa bhutani tripadasya divi. The Purusha is greater than all the greatness which can be expressed by words. Purusha's one part has become all these visible worlds, and his three parts rest in the immortal world of the transcendence. Padosya vishwa bhutani tribadasya amritam divi. Tripadodvai purushaha padoho shehamavat punaha tato vishwanyagramate sasanana sanenapi. The three parts of Purusha is lofty in transcendental realm, and his one part becomes a creation again and again. There in the creation, Purusha pervades all the living. That means the living beings are those who eat, and the non-living who do not eat. All those beings are completely pervaded by Purusha. Tasmad virala jayata virajo adipurushaha sajato atyarichyata pachat bhumimato puraha. From Purusha was born the Virat. From the presence of the shining Purusha who remained as the background or substratum of Virat, he, namely the Virat, created the earth by manifesting the earth from his own being as substratum. Let us see now how Bhattadri starts getting excited about the diminutive Vāmana taking a huge cosmic form and becoming Trivikrama. Nissandegam didi kulapado Nissandegam didi kulapado Tvayashesharpanam tat Yatanvane mumujuhu rushayaga Shamaraga pushpavarsham Nissandegam didi kulapado Tvayashesharpanam tat Yatanvane mumujugurushayah samaraga pushpavarsham divyam rupam tava tadidam pasyatam vishwabhajam jairuchaihi avrudat avadikritya vishwandabhandam vishwandabhagandam. Nissandeham Ditikulapato Twai Ashesharpanam Tat Vyatanvane Mumuchuhu Rushayaha Samaraha Pushpavarsham Divyam Rupam Tavacha Taditam Pashyatam Vishwabhajam Uchchairuchchaihi Avrudat Avadi Kritya Vishwanda Bhandam. Oh Bhagavane, when the emperor of the Asuras made a gift of all his possessions to you without deviating from the given word, without the least hesitation and without the least regard for his preceptor's advice, completely against it, and even the power of the curse of the Acharya, the saints and the gods showered a rain of flowers from the sky on Mahabali. Immediately after that, as the world looked upon your divine diminutive form of Vāmana, grew bigger and bigger to cosmic proportions. Tvatpadagrani japadagatam pundari godbhavosoha unditoyai asichati abunate yajjalam vishwalokaha harshotkachat subhagunanrute kecharaihi uttavesmin Berim Nignan Bhuvanamacharat Jambavan Bhaktishali Jambavan Bhaktishali Tvatpadagram Nijapadagatam Pundarikoddhavo Asau Kunditoyehi Asichat Apunat Yajjalam Vishwalokan Harshotkarshat Subhagunarude Kecharaihi Utsavesmin Bherim Nignan Bhuvanam Acharat Jambavan Bhaktishali. Assuming the cosmic form, the Lord measured the earth with a single stride. He covered the skies with his body and the four quarters by his arms. He took the second stride when the foot of the cosmic person reached Satyaloka, the abode of Brahma. After passing through Bhuvarloka, Swarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka and Tapoloka. O Bhagavane, seeing the extremity of your appraised foot in his realm, Brahma worshipped it with devotion and performed Abhishekam by pouring water over it from his water pot, Kamandalu. This water became the holy Ganga and purified all the worlds while flowing in different regions with different names such as Akasha Ganga, Bhagirathi, Jannavi and Bhogavati. Seeing your wonderful cosmic form, celestials such as Devas, Gandharvas, Apsaras, Yakshas and Kinnaras were overjoyed and they sang and danced in ecstasy for a very long time. On this joyous occasion, the great devotee Jambavan, who happened to be the son of Brahma, traversed the whole world announcing your great triumph with beating of drums. He is the same Jambavan, a Chiranjeevi, an immortal one, who subsequently figured so prominently in Ramayana in the Treta Yuga and also unwittingly fought with Sri Krishna in the Dwapara Yuga and later gave his daughter Jambavati to Lord Krishna. The adjective Bhaktishali to Jambavan indicates that he did go around the world beating the drum in exhilaration on his own accord, prompted by immense devotion and not on any other reason. Shuka says to Parikshit, Padam dvitiyam kramatattrivittapam Padam dvitiyam kramatattrivittapam Navai tritiyaya tadiyamanvati Guru kramasya angrihi upari yato magarjanabhyam tapasabbaram gataga Guru kramasya angrihi upari yato magarjanabhyam tapasabbaram gataga bhumi apo analo vayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yame bhinna prakritihi ashtada भूमि आपो अनलो वायु कं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इतीयं मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिः अष्टधा। पदं द्वितीयं क्रमतत्प्रविष्टपं न वै तृतीयाय तदीयम् अन्वपि गुरुक्रमस्य अंग्रिः उपर्युपरिः यतो महर्जनाभ्यां तपसः परं गतः। When Bhagavan's footstep exceeded the height of all the lokas, including Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, and Satyaloka, his nails certainly pierced the covering of the universe. The universe is covered by the 5 material elements, as Bhagavan Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Bhumihi apo analo vayuhu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyam me bhinna prakritihi ashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intellect and false ego are called ahankara. All together, these 8 constitute my separated material energies aside from me. The science of God analyzes the constitutional position of God and his diverse energies. Material nature is called Prakriti, or the energy of the Lord in his different Purusha incarnations or expansions, as described in the Naradiya Pancharatra, one of the Satvata Tantras. Vishnostu त्रीणि रूपाणि पुरुषाख्यानि अतो विदुः एकं तु महतः सृष्टिः द्वितीयं तु अण्डसंस्थितं तृतीयं सर्वभूतस्थं तानि ज्ञात्वा विमुच्यते। विष्णोस्तु त्रीणि रूपाणि पुरुषाख्यानि अतो विदुः एकं तु महतः सृष्टिः द्वितीयं तु अण्डसंस्थितं तृतीयं सर्वभूतत्वं तानि ज्ञात्वा विमुच्यते। विष्णोस्तु त्रीणि रूपाणि पुरुषाख्यानि अथो विदुः एकं तु महतः सृष्टिः द्वितीयं तु अण्डसंस्थितं तृतीयं सर्वभूतस्थं तानि ज्ञात्वा विमुच्यते. For material creation, Bhagavan Krishna's plenary expansion assumes 3 Vishnus. The first one, known as Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy, known as the Mahat Tattva. The second one, known as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, enters into all the universes to create diversities in each of them. The third, known as Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading super soul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these 3 manifestations of Mahavishnus can be liberated from material entanglement. You may recollect the beautiful verse from the Ashtapati of Bhakta Jayadeva, Vyasa Reborn.
चालय शिवेक्रमणे केशवा बलिमकुद वामन चालय शिवेक्रमणे केशवा बलिमकुद वामन पदकरणीरज निजनवा नीर जनित जन पावन केशवाधृत वामन रूप केशवाधृत वामन रूप जय जगदीश केशवा जय जगदीश श्री जय देव कवे केशवा मुदितमुदा केशवा श्री जय देव कवे केशवा मुदितमुदा केशवा श्री जय देव कवे केशवा मुदितमुदा केशवा शृणु सुखदं सुभदं भवतारं शृणु सुखदं सुखदं भवतारं केशवाधृत दशविधरूप केशवाधृत दशविधरूप केशवाधृत दशविधरूप जय जगदीश केशवा जय जगदीश केशवा जय जगदीश केशवा जय जगदीश
चलयसि विक्रमणे बलिम अद्भुत वामन पाद नक नीर जनित जन पावन केशवा धृत वामन रूप जय जगदीश हरे. When Vishnu took incarnation of a small boy, he sought donation of a 3-foot space from Emperor Bali, and Bali, being never a naysayer, humbly accorded that. Then the little man, Vāmana, covered the entire earth with 1 foot, the rest of the worlds, including Akasha, with the 2nd foot, and asked Bali where to keep his 3rd step. Mahabali shows his head in all humility, and the boy places his 3rd foot on the head of Bali, blessing him, but asking him to retire to the nether worlds for his own benefit. In doing so, when that little boy raised his foot to cover heavens, his toe goes straight to the presence of Brahma. Observing that toe as his father Vishnu's toe, Brahma anoints it with sacred waters. When Vāmana withdrew his foot from heaven to place it on Bali's head, the sacred water poured on that sacred toenail by Brahma rushed on to the earth as river Ganga. तावद्दैत्यादु अनुमतिमृते भर्तुः तावद्दैत्यादु अनुमतिमृते भर्तुः आरब्धयुद्धाः देवो वेदैः आरब्धयुद्धाः देवो वेदैः भवदनुचरैः सङ्गता भङ्गमापन् कालात्मयं वसति पुरतो यद्वशात् प्राज्ञिता स्मः किं वो युद्धैः इति बलिगिरा ते अधपातालमापुः किं वो युद्धैः इति बलिगिरा ते अधपातालमापुः. तावद् दैत्याः तु अनुमतिं ऋते भर्तुः आरब्धयुद्धाः देवोपेतैः भवदनुचरैः सङ्गता भङ्गमापन् कालात्मायं वसति परतो यद्वशात् प्राग्जिताः स्मः किं वो युद्धैः इति बलिगिरा ते अथ पातालम् आपुः. Bhagavane Guruvayurappa, when you thus measured all the 3 worlds in 2 steps, coming in the form of a delusive dwarf and then assuming the cosmic form all of a sudden, the Asuras Viprachitti, Rahu, Nemi and all others surrounding Mahabali thought, this enemy of ours has rested under the pretext of begging everything that belonged to our master Mahabali under our very nose. This is very bad. Alas, our master, who is ever so committed to truthfulness and devoted to Brahmanas, indeed kept his word. Bali Chakravarti is so moral that he will not take away whatever is gifted by himself. Moreover, as Chakravarti is committed to the austerities of a sacrifice, he will not take to alms also now. Therefore, it has now become our sacred duty to kill this trickster Vāmana if we are true to our salt. We owe this to our master. So saying, the asuras surrounding Mahabali opened hostilities even without their master Bali's sanction. Immediately, your emissaries Nanda, Sunanda, Jaya, Vijaya and all others together started fighting with the asuras and drove them away. Then remembering his preceptor's curse, Bali called the defeated asuras and advised them, O asuras, before us here stands the spirit of time, by whose favor alone we were successful earlier. Now the time is unfavorable to all of us now and is in favor of the devas. Our prowess will not bear fruit in any manner. Who can transgress time? Therefore your fight is of no avail now. Let us bide our time, and when it is favorable to us, we shall fight back and win the war and get what we lost. So for the time being, back off. Thus directed by Bali, all the asuras under his command withdrew to the netherworld, namely Patala, along with their master. Pashair bhaddam padagapatina daitya muchairavadi. Pashair bhaddam padagapatina daitya muchairavadi. Satyarnyekam Dija mama padam imna vishveshwarosi. Padam mudri pranaya bhagavan nitya kampo vadantam. Padam mudri pranaya bhagavan nitya kampo vadantam. Prahladatam swayam upagato manayannattavidvam. Prahladatam swayam upagato manayan attavidvam. Pashair baddam patagapadina daitya muchaihi ravadi. Statirikam dishamama padam kimna vishveshwarosi. Padam mudni pranaya bhagavan nitya kampam vadantam. Prahladastam swayam upagato manayan astavitvam. While seizing all his possessions, Bhagavan destroyed Bali's sense of aham or minus, like my kingdom, my people, my wealth, etc. After losing all his hard-earned possessions, what remained in that foremost asura was only his ego. The sense of self in body was the only thing that was remaining. The Lord's intention was to eradicate that too by taking away his body in the third step, and then he blessed him. By this, the Lord wanted to show to the world that there was none equal to Bali in truthfulness and courage, thus enhancing his fame further in the entire Manvantara. Knowing these intentions to the Lord, his mount Garuda bound Bali with the cords of Varuna. Then you told the helpless Asura emperor loudly, "You promised to give me 3 paces of land. All your worlds are sufficient only for 2 steps of mine. Where is the place for my 3rd step? Are you not the head of the universe? Did you not ask me, why just 3 steps from me, the ruler of the universe? What happened now? If you do not give me place for my 3rd step as promised, you will not be true to your words, and therefore will have to fall into a narakam or a horrible hell." By such words, which pierced Bali's heart, prana, the Lord tried to unnerve him in order to demonstrate to the world his strength of resolution and courage. Bali was calm and collected. And without the least tremor, Bali replied, "O Bhagavane, my words are never false. You, appearing in dwarfish form, did ask me for 3 paces of land and then assumed another form to measure the land. This was not fair, but yet, if you think that my words are false, I shall make them true even now. I pray now, Bhagavane, place your third footstep on my head, whether it is Vāmana's footsteps or Trivikrama's footstep, put it on my head, which is certainly more valuable to me than all my possessions taken together in any birth." When Bali said these words without the least hesitation, his grandfather Prahlada himself appeared by his side and sang your praise, O GuruBhakti. And Bali was watching the whole thing. What else could he expect in his birth? Darbhochitte vihitam-akilo daitya-siddhosi punyihi lokaste astu tridiva vijayi vasavattvoncha paschat. Darbhochitte vihitam-akilo daitya-siddhosi punyihi lokaste astu tridiva vijayi vasavatvam cha paschat. Matsayujyam bhajacha punariti Matsayujyam bhajacha punariti Anvakrina balintam Viprai santanitamakavaraha Pahivatālayesa Viprai santanitamakavaraha Pahivatālayesa. Darpochityai vihitam-akilam daitya-siddhosi punyaihi lokaha te hastu tridiva vijayi vasavatvam cha paschat. Matsyayujyam bhajacha punariti anvagrinna balimtam viprehi santanitamakavaraha pahi vatālayesa. O Mahabali, emperor of the Asura race, in order to curb your pride only, I did all of this. Please remember, I am neither angry with you nor I am inimical with you. I like you. In fact, you are sanctified by your many charitable deeds and attributes like truthfulness, devotion to Brahmanas, and by performing the best of sacrifices and finally offering everything to me as you promised, even though I asked all of them in the Vāmana form. And you also offered it everything even when I took the Trivikrama form. That only shows your greatness, O Bali. There is nothing left for you to gain further. You will have sway over the realm known as Sutala, which excels even heaven and where there is no mental or physical pain. Remember, this world is better than even heaven, which is created for you. You stay there with your people with great happiness, not available even to Devas. You desire to become Indra. Therefore, in the age of Savarni Manu, you will become Indra and this Indra will be deposed. And later still, you shall attain union with me as you desire and when you desire. This avatara or incarnation is one of the very few amidst the main 24 incarnations that we saw earlier that is found or elaborated in Rigveda Samhita, Mandala Krama and Aitariya Brahmana, Samaveda, both in Samhita and Panchavimsa Brahmana. Yajurveda, both Shukla and Krishna, respectively in Vajasaneyi Samhita and Shadapata Brahmana under Shukla Yajurveda, and Taitriya Samhita and Brahmana under Krishna Yajurveda. There is even explanation in Atharva Veda in Samhita portion about this incarnation. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and Mahabharata repeatedly highlight this avatara as one of the holiest avataras, and Harivamsa, the appendix of Mahabharata, has a lot to say about this avataram, especially Vāmana and transitioning to Trivikrama. Rigveda in Mandala Krama Agni Purana descriptions of Vāmana are somewhat in line with the description seen in Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, understandably. Agni is considered equivalent to and henotheistically identified with all the gods in the Vedic thought, which form the foundation for the various non-dualistic and monistic theologies of Hinduism. This has been amplified by Max Muller, who lived between 1823 and 1900. He was a British philologist and Orientalist. Max Muller brought this term henotheism from Friedrich Schelling, who coined from Greek. As some of you may know, henotheism is a religious belief where people worship one supreme God as the ultimate deity, but acknowledge the existence and reality of many other gods within the larger pantheon. That's what we see in Sanatana Dharma, Brahman and all other manifestations of Brahman, either in avatārā or in subsistence. These themes of equivalence is repeatedly presented in the Vedas, such as with the following words in the Prathama Mandala of the Rig Veda. Indram, Mitram, Varunam, Agnim, Ahuhu, Arto, Divyaha, Sasuparno, Garutman, Ekam Sat Vipra, Bahudha Vadanti, Agnim Yamam, Matarishwanamahuhu. They call it Indra, Mitra, Varuna, Agni, and he is heavenly winged Garutman. To what is one, sages give many a title. They call it Agni, Yama, Matariswan. The translation from Rig Veda of this particular statement, which is often repeated, is from Klaus Klostermaier. In one version of the Vāmana legend, when Mahabali offered himself for Vishnu's third step, it was an act of Mahabali's devotion. Vishnu granted him a boon. Mahabali chose to revisit earth once every year, the lands and the people he previously ruled. This revisit marks the festival of Onam, a reminder of the virtuous rule of Mahabali and his humility in keeping his promise before Vishnu. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful statement of what Prahlada said about this. Nayimam virincho labhate prasadam na shrihi na sarvaga kimuda parenye yenno suranam asiturga palo vishwabhivandyehi abhivanditani nayimam virincho labhate prasadam na shrihi na sarvaga kimuda parenye yenno suranam Asiturgapalo Vishwabhivandyehi Abhivanditandrihi Yanno Suranam Asidurgapalo Vishwabhivandyehi Abhivanditangrihi. The word Durgapala is significant. The word Durga means that which does not go very easily. Generally, Durga refers to a fort which one cannot easily enter. Another meaning of Durga is difficulty, because the Supreme Brahman promised to protect Bali Maharaja and associates from all dangers. He is addressed here as Durgapala, the Lord who gives protection from all miserable conditions. O Bhagavane Guruvayurappa, blessing Bali so, you sent him to Sutala. After that, you had the Ashwamedha Yaga, which was started by Bali, completed by the Brahmanas, Shukracharya, and all other priests who had assembled there. You didn't want Ashwamedha Yaga to be incomplete, simply because you packed Mahabali to Sutala. Your compassion incarnate, O Guruvayurappa, you bestowed all greatness, including final blessings, on your devotees after making them pure by evaluating them and destroying their sins. Bhagavane, please protect me as well. This is how Bhattadari ends it. Let us now see how Alvars and Acharyas who praised Govinda, Gokula Bala, portrayed Vāmana and Trivikrama. There are as many as 100 verses that can be pulled out of Narayana Divya Prabandham, but only a few examples are quoted for paucity of time here. We are in the holy month of Margazhi now. Andal says in her third Pashuram, Ongi Valahalanda Uttaman Beirpadi. Andal highlights the praiseworthiness and Kirtananubhavam of Bhagavan Krishna when he became Trivikrama to measure the three worlds and deliberately calls him Uttaman, lest someone may call Vāmana a cheat, taking the gigantic Swarupam to hoodwink Mahabali. Acharyas, especially Sri Ramanuja, interpret this reference to Uttaman for a completely different reason. That Krishna as Upendra or Vāmana continued to do good to his brother Indra, born to the same mother Aditi, despite Indra behaving as an ingrate while flooding Gokulam to submerge Krishna in Dwapara Yuga. That is why Andal called him Uttaman. Even for a person who does bad to him, he was only doing good. When Andal sang the 24th Pasuram, Andri Ivulagam Alandai Adi Potri, it is a direct praise of the greatness of that small little boy who turned into Trivikrama to measure this world, and the rest, and the praise is directed at the Thiruvadi that all saints and sages eternally long for.
அழந்தாய் அடி போற்றி சென்றங்கு தென்னிலங்கை போற்றி சென்றங்கு தென்னிலங்கை போற்றி போன்ற ஜகடம் உதைத்தாய் புகழ் போற்றி போன்ற போன்ற ஜகடம் உதைத்தாய் புகழ் போற்றி போன்ற ஜகடம் கன்று குடிலாய் கழி கன்று குடிலாய்
Andal goes further in Nachiyar Tirumozhi. மென்னடையன்னம் பறந்து விளையாடும் வில்லிபுத்தூர் உறைவான் கண் பொன்னடி காண்பதோர் ஆசையினால் மென்னடையன்னம் பறந்து விளையாடும் வில்லிபுத்தூர் உறைவான் தன் பொன்னடி காண்பதோர் ஆசையினால் என் குரு பெயர் கண் இணை துஞ்ச இந்தடிசிலோடு பாலமுதூண்டி எடுத்தவன் போல கிளியை உன்னோடு தோழமை கொள்வன் குயிலே உலகளந்தான் வரப்பூவன். ஆண்டாள் குயிலிடம் கொஞ்சுகிறாள். என் கிளியெல்லாம் உனக்கு நான் தோழி ஆக்குகிறேனே, அந்த உலகளந்தான் என்னையும் அளக்க வர கூறுவாயாக என்று நாச்சியார் திருமொழி 5ஆம் பதிகத்தில் 6ஆம் திருமொழியில் பாடுகிறாள் ஆண்டாள். கூட்டிலிருந்து கிளிய போதும் கோவிந்தா கோவிந்தா என்றழைக்கும். கூட்டிலிருந்து கிளிய போதும் கோவிந்தா கோவிந்தா என்றழைக்கும். உட்டுக்கொடாது செருப்பனாயில் உலகளந்தான் என்று உயரக்கூவோ. உலகளந்தான் என்று உயரக்கூவோ. கூட்டிலிருந்து கிளி எப்போதும் கோவிந்தா கோவிந்தா என்று அழைக்கும். ஊட்டுக்கொடாது செருப்பனாகில் உலகளந்தான் என்று உயரக் கூவும் என்கிறாள். அதுவும் நாச்சியார் திருமொழி 122வது பாசுரம். ஆண்டாள் laments to her imaginary friends, "Look at this parrot. I have caged her since she constantly shouts Govinda, Govinda, and I am very upset that the fellow Govinda never comes to me despite my suffering. Even when I do not feed this parrot, in her hunger also the parrot shouts Ulagalandan in high pitch just to tease me." In her hunger also the parrot shouts Ulagalandan in high pitch just to tease me. நான் கூட்டுக்குள் வைத்திருக்கும் கிளி கோவிந்தா கோவிந்தா எனத்தான் கூவுகிறது. அதற்கு உணவு கொடுக்காமல் வெறுத்து அதனை நான் பட்டினி போட்டால் அப்போதும் அது உலகளந்தான் என்றுதான் உயர கூவும். The next two verses are from Nigamanta Desikan's exquisite Tamil work, பன்னிரு திருநாமம். திருவிக்ரமன் திகழ் தீனிரத்தன் திருவிக்ரமா திகழ் தீனிரத்தன் தெளிவுடைவாள் உருவிக்கரங்களில் இரண்டேந்தி பலக்கழுத்தும் சருவிக்ரமத்து அரகர்த்திக்கும் சிறந்தாளோ இறை மருவி கரிகிரி மேல் பரம் தந்திடுமானவனே. திருவிக்ரமன் திகழ் தீனிரத்தன் தெளிவுடைவாள் உருவிக்கரங்களில் ஈரிரண்டேந்தி வலக்கழுத்தும் செருவிக்ரமத்து அரக்கர்த்திக்கும் சிறந்தாளும் இறை மருவி கரிகிரி மேல் வரம் தந்திடும் மன்னவனே. வரம் தந்திடும் மன்னவனே. திருவிக்கிரமன் திகழ்தி நிறத்தன் தெளிவுடைவாள் உருவிக்கரங்களில் இரண்டேந்தி வலக்கழுத்தும் செருவிக்கிரமத்து அரக்கர்திக்கும் சிறந்தாளும் இறைமறிவு கரிகிரி மேல் வரம் தந்திடும் மன்னவனே. The Lord of Hastigiri, the boon-granting Varadaraja Swami, takes the form of Trivikrama with the hue of a radiant flame, adorns 4 swords in his 4 hands, faces northwest, the direction of powerful demons, and stays watchful while established in the left side of the neck. Vāmana-avatārā Vāmodaramum Vāyuvin Disayum Vāmana-avatārā Vāmodaramum Vāyuvin Disayum தாமம் அடைந்து தருண அறுக்க நிறத்தனுமாய் சேமமரக்கலும் சோம்பவீர் இரண்டால் திகழும் நாமங்கை மேறிய நான் முகன் வேதியில் நம்பரனே. நான் முகன் வேதியில் நம்பரனே நோபரனே. எட்டாம் பாசுரத்தில் அதே தேசிகன் சொல்லுகிறார், வாமனன் எந்தன் வாமோதரமும் வாயுவன் திசையும் தாமமடைந்து தருண அறுக்க நிறத்தனுமாய் சேம மரக்கலம் செம்பவியீர் இரண்டால் திகழும் நாமங்கை மேவிய நான்முகன் வேதியில் நம்பரனே. Supreme One who appeared in the sacred Agni of the sacrifice that Brahma performed with his consort Saraswati takes the form of Vāmana, faces northwest direction and stays on the left side of my stomach. His hue is that of Bala Surya and uses 4 Vajrayuta for protecting his bhaktas and serves as a safe boat to ferry us across the dangerous ocean of samsara. Before I close this session, let me attempt to answer some questions that were raised to me in the previous session as to the temples and celebrations for Vāmana Jayanti and temples of Trivikrama. Tirukkurungudi temple south of Tirunelveli, another 108 Divya Kshetram known as Panchanambi Kshetram. This is a very famous Kshetram for a different reason. இங்கு நின்ற பெருமாள், that is standing, இருந்த பெருமாள், that is sitting, கிடந்த பெருமாள், in sleeping, திருப்பார்க்கடல் நம்பி and திருமலைமேல் நம்பி, all 5 temples are around the same place within 10 kilometer radius. The Sthala Puranam is something remarkably interesting. More interesting thanks to Sri Ramanuja's visit naming the Archa Murti as Sri Vaishnava Nambi. Tirukkurungudi is noted as Vāmana-puri, Kurungudi and Siddhashramam in the Purānās. The name coined as above in itself infers the shrine is related to the Vāmana-avatārā. The Purānās describe the Lord here as Thiruparkadal Nambi, who resides on the banks of Kshetrabdi river, took the Vāmana-avatārā. Narada Maharishi portrays the beauty of Lord Nambi when Vāmana-avatārā was taken. Swami Thiruparkadal Nambi does not have any Divya Mahishi seated nearby since Vāmana-avatārā was taken as a Brahmacharya avatara. After Swami Ramanuja visited Tirukkurungudi and named the Archa Murti as Sri Vaishnava Nambi, he thought of spreading the Visittadvaita Siddhanta to Kerala. Therefore, he reached Thiruvananthapuram as per beliefs. In the meantime, the Namboodiris, that is the Kerala Brahmins who perform Nitya Kainkaryam to Ananta Padmanabha at Thiruvananthapuram, came to know the proposed Digvijayam of Swami Ramanuja. Soon they prayed to Lord Ananta Padmanabha not to let Swami Ramanuja penetrate into Thiruvananthapuram and convert all of them to follow the Visittadvaita Siddhanta. Hearing the plea from these Namboodiris, most of whom practiced Advaita, Lord Ananta Padmanabha in order to satisfy his devotees' wish. Swami Ramanuja stayed in Thiruvananthapuram along with his thousands of disciples. Vaduganambi, one of the prime disciples, was also staying with Swami Ramanuja in Thiruvananthapuram. It was late at night when Swami Ramanuja had been sleeping then. Sri Ramanuja was carried over by Pakshiraja or Garuda as ordered by Ananta Padmanabha and placed on the banks of Kshetrabdi river over a rock, none of which Ramanuja was aware. It all happened when Ramanuja was fast asleep. As the sun rose in the morning, Ramanuja came to know that he was not in Thiruvananthapuram but somewhere else. He realized that he was in Tirukkurungudi and cried out his prime disciple, Vaduga, Vaduga, come here. Soon the Lord of Tirukkurungudi, Sri Vaishnava Nambi, disguised as Vaduga Nambi, appeared before Swami Ramanuja carrying the Kashaya Vastra, or the holy saffron cloth worn by sages. Once the holy bath was taken, it was usual that Swami Ramanuja, after adorning Dwadasha Urdhva Pundrams, which are known as 12 Pundras that Sri Vaishnava is ordained to wear on his body as per tradition, Ramanuja does it on his body. He will also offer Pundrams to Vaduga Nambi, his disciple. It was a turn that Lord Vaishnava Nambi had been waiting for a very long time to get such a chance of adorning his body with Urdhva Pundras from the very hands of his Acharya Swami Ramanuja. Look at this. Bhagavan comes as a disciple of Swami Ramanuja and disguises himself as Vaduga Nambi and gets the Urdhva Pundram from Swami Ramanuja. This is Tirukkurungudi Puranam. Without hesitation, Bhagavan Nambi accepted the Urdhva Pundras on his body offered by Sri Swami Ramanuja. Lord Sri Vaishnava Nambi, in the guise of Vaduga Nambi, marched towards the main temple carrying Ramanuja's Kashaya Vastra in a bamboo container. As soon as they reached Dvajastamba, the wooden pillar mounted in the temple entrance, Vaduga Nambi disappeared, leaving the bamboo container that contained the Kashaya Vastra of Swami Ramanuja. Without noticing the absence of the Lord Sri Vaishnava Nambi, Swami Ramanuja reached the Sanctum Sanctorum. Then only he noticed that the fresh Urdhva Pundras that were applied for Vaduga Nambi, according to Ramanuja, were explicitly displayed on the face of Sri Vaishnava Nambi, Bhagavan's Murtam or the Murti. Soon Ramanuja inferred that Vaduganambi was missing and thought that he was none other than the Lord Sri Vaishnava Nambi, who came in the disguise of his disciple Vaduganambi. In our next session, that is section 47, we will be seeing Matsya-avataram explaining Dasakam 32 of Narayana Bhattadri. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Narayanaya. Hare Krishna Guruvayurappa.
Narayana 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 Hare Krishna Guru